Dana, I just want to say, because I have
this part. So welcome to our team call for October 2nd. Who else is like floored that it is October already? Where did this year go? I don't know. Before we get started, does anybody have any rank advancements or anything they want to shout out?
Yep. For tomorrow, my girl Danielle, who's on this call, she is going to be a shiny emerald. So an early shout out.
Congrats. And congrats to you too, Carolyn, because you were on the banner this month.
Yeah. Yep, she got her emerald too. So we got some new emeralds popping up, which I love.
Yes, awesome. Congrats.
Oh, and Alicia, she reclaimed her emerald. So lots of that is popping up.
Yay.
So awesome job, Team Rising Tide.
Team Rising Tide is kicking ass.
On that note, I'm throwing out a huge shout out to Team Rising Tide for having their very first team coach sneak peek yesterday that Kelly ran. I didn't get a chance to watch the video, but I know with her vibe and her energy and her kick-ass team that it was amazing. And
Kelly nailed it for anybody questioning it.
She needs to be damn proud of what she's building because she's doing amazing.
Thank
you. You are, Kelly.
It doesn't always feel that way, so it feels nice to hear that. We all have our doubts.
On the topic of shouting out Kelly Riley, because she and Whitney combined and created an actual sneak peek page on Instagram to share different things about coaching, which I think is awesome. And I would love to hear your thoughts on how that's going to at some point, Kelly.
Okay.
All right. Awesome. It's so fun to celebrate. Anything else before we dig in? No? Okay. More to come, right? As we rally for some end of year goals. So I wanted to bring this topic up tonight, just like how Success Club feels sometimes, or the stress or the pressure that might be put on you with certain goals in your business, because Stephanie and I had a pretty in-depth talk about this. I know it's something Alicia and I have chatted a little bit about, kind of shifting gears as we move things forward. And they're both going to kind of share some thoughts about this past month too. So I figured I'll just let you ladies go first if you want to chime in, and then I'll say what I want to say.
I mean, if Alicia doesn't mind, because I know she's probably exhausted, but I'll go first because I think my look at it might be slightly different than what she's going to go with, because we have two completely different scenarios for this month. So, Leash, you okay with that? I don't know where you are, but I can't even see you, but okay. So I'm going to kind of just go into what Dana and I were talking about. And even, I don't know if anybody actually watched the live video that I did the other day in the team page, because that speaks to a lot of what I'm going to kind of touch base on with here. But just to kind of go back a little bit, I've been doing this for a while. We're at 4.5 years now, and I've had my share of hitting Success Club, and I've had my share of not hitting Success Club. And I gotta tell you, when you're riding that high and you're hitting Success Club consistently, you feel freaking amazing, and it is that high. And then that first month that you don't hit it, you're like, shit, something happened. What did I do? And you take a step and you look at it again. But when you start struggling up and down, up and down, up and down, it really starts to take a toll at you, not even in your business, but in your own mental state. So, I mean, I could speak from me, just I start comparing myself to others. What am I doing wrong? How come they're hitting Success Club? As stupid as it sounds, seeing, the accolades for everybody that's hitting it consistently every month starts really taking a toll on you or on me, and to the point that I start shutting down and I start stepping back, and it just hurts more. So I think this past month kind of made a little bit of a shift because I started looking at things a little different. Why? I really don't know. But one of the things that Dana and I were talking about is, for so long, the shift has always been how important it is to hit Success Club every month. Since my first training as a brand new coach, you want to help 3 people a month. That's it. That is your goal no matter what. That is your end all, your be all, your non-negotiable. Yes, it still is. And I'm not downplaying that by any means, because if you want to build a substantial business, you need to help people, because of all the factors involved. But should that be the driving force in your business and the only thing that keeps you going? No, because we all struggle with insecurities at time. And I think when you don't hit it is when you start losing faith in yourself and you start losing the light in this business. So one of the things Dana and I were talking about is that while Success Club is so important, we need to all start really evaluating, like, what are we in this for? Like, start celebrating the little bits that you're hitting rather than just that number. So one of the things that I spoke about is, why are you doing this? Are you doing this just for the numbers? Are you doing it, for only the money that you just want to hit those numbers constantly? Or are you doing it because you're passionate about it, because you like knowing that you're helping people? So if you don't hit Success Club 1 month, does that make you a bad coach? No. If you don't hit it 2 months, does that make you a shitty person? Should you quit? No. If you help one person a month, one person in the past 2 months, think about how much you just helped that one person. Like, to me, and I said it to Kelly the other night too, when I didn't hit it, yeah, I didn't help the 3 people this month, but the one person that I did help, that reached out because she saw another one of my friends' transformation posts, has been killing it in her workouts and messaging me saying, thank you so much. I'm so glad I did it. So for me, that's more important than hitting Success Club. Like, I feel better knowing that I actually made a difference in somebody's life than, yay, I got my 3 people for the month. So I think one of the things that we were just talking about is, really to evaluate what you're doing rather than a quota or hitting a goal, and kind of really just feeling that and not comparing yourself constantly to others, because everybody is doing this for so many different reasons. And I think that's kind of where we all get stuck. Look, we're females. Psychologically, females compare. It is what it is. If you want to get to the root of it, we all have extreme insecurities, and we will always compare and always judge against everybody. That's just how the world is. But instead of comparing or judging, we really need to take a look and say, okay, what did I do good this month? Even if you didn't help anybody, did you continue showing up in your challenge group and helping your challengers? Did you continue reaching out to people that you're forming with and just being like, hey, how are you? And you're building a relationship and people are looking at you for that inspiration. Did you inspire somebody to have a salad at dinner just because they saw your posts? No matter what you're doing, you're actually doing something good and of value. And we need to start focusing on that rather than the number associated with Success Club. And I think that was the bulk of it, Dee. I don't know if there was more with that, but.
No, that's good. I'll get to it.
Okay.
All right, my turn. Okay, so give you guys a little backstory. So I've been a coach for, over 5 years now. And for the last just shy of 3 years, I've hit Success Club every single month. And it's something that I'm very proud of and something that was super important to me. And as Stephanie said, it has been drilled into us, into me since I started coaching, that that's so, so important. And in the beginning, it, waxed and waned, whatever. But once I got into that groove and I really committed, it was really important. It was a non-negotiable to help at least 3 people a month. So then last month happened. And I think that I have been coasting for a while and have been just, kind of pulling off of people that have come to me and not really doing as much inviting as I should have. And it finally caught up to me. So I know why I didn't hit it. It's not because I wasn't able to, it's because I didn't do the work necessary to keep my funnel full. And eventually, if you don't keep the work up, it runs out. But I have to say, I told Annalisa this, and I hope this comes off the right way. She asked me how I felt about it, and obviously I was really upset about it. But at the same time, I was slightly relieved, if that makes any sense at all, because the pressure and the stress that I have put on myself to hit that one goal every single month was like really becoming overwhelming. Like to the point where I would look at the date and I'd be like, this month is going too fast. Like this is the month, I'm not going to hit it. And then I'm going to lose that recognition and that status, because recognition does drive me. And it was becoming more about that than it was about the people behind the numbers. And if you're on Monday night's call, they talked about that a little bit. And it really hit home with me that like, they're not just Success Club numbers, like those are people that we're helping. And I'm here to help people. And when I bring them on, I don't think I ever abandon anyone or anything like that. But it had gotten to the point where I was just like, I need those points. And like the end of last month, I was doing so much begging and offering people crap and just to hit it for me, not because I truly felt like they needed it. I mean, these people they wanted it, and I knew it would help them solve a problem, but that wasn't the first thing I was thinking about. I was thinking about myself and my own goals. So it was a huge reality check, and it showed me that I really need to get my priorities straight, and that Success Club is not the end all be all. It is important. I don't want you guys to think that I'm not going to still strive for that, because, you know, if you want to have a business, you have to acquire new people. Like you have to bring them in. And that's the whole heart of our business. If we're not getting people started with what we're offering, then what are we doing? Right. But also, you know, I want to build an income, and just bringing in 3 people a month or 5 people a month does not build an income. That just gives you some quick bucks here and there. And my income has not really grown. And I think it's because all month, all I'm focused on is maintaining that status. So I'm choosing to take this now as like a fresh start. I'm still going to work on bringing new people in, but I'm going to make more of an effort to make it about them and getting them what they need, rather than figuring out how I can turn it into a challenge pack so that I get the points for it. And, you know, take more time to focus on bringing in coaches and all the other things that I was neglecting because I was so hyper-focused on this one small piece of the puzzle. So I hope that helps. Like, it is important, but it's not the end all be all. So like Stephanie said, like, you're not a bad coach if you're not hitting Success Club every month, if you're doing the other things you need to do and you're putting one foot in front of the other, and, you know, you're keeping the momentum going. Just keep your priorities straight and remember why we're here. Remember your goals and the goals of the people that you're trying to help, and hopefully things will fall into place. But that's my goal from here forward.
I'm going to chime in for a quick second after that. So I'm going to play a little bit the opposite side for 1 second, guys. And this is only because it really depends upon what you are doing this for. So as I've hit, when I first started, I never hit Success Club. I would see the Success Club boards. My name was never on it. And it totally like was a knife into me. And I always would see it, and oftentimes I wouldn't even want to look at it because it would make me feel like crap, because I just wasn't getting it at that point. Now I've hit Success Club for 35 months straight, and I'm very proud of that. Because I'm proud of that, not because of the number, but because of what it's brought to my team in general, to like adding growth to my team. Because for me personally, and this isn't for everyone, and that's fine. This is the nice thing about this job, is you make it what you want. My goal is to be able to continue my nursing hours and do this for my family and be home with my family. I cannot do that without having people on my team hit Success Club. I can't. I'm sitting in the same place. I was sitting at Summit last year, saying I am going to be on that stage as a 2-star, not because of the 2-star, But because I get to open my second business center, because I know money-wise, that's going to help provide for my family, because it's going to be a lot more than what I'm doing right now. That can't happen without growth in my team. And that means my team hitting Success Club. I also had, hopes of being a premier team. That's might be more of a selfish thing, but more just for me knowing like we are growing that much, that my team is getting bigger, and the fact that like this is something that can probably really take off. And my hopes were that it was going to be last year as a premier team. Didn't happen. This year, we've lost the chances. So like it's not happening again. So do I like freak out about that? Behind the scenes, sometimes have a pity party, but I try not to share that with other people. But it hurts. It hurts big time, because for me, I feel like I have failed in my business because I am not able to help people grow or get them to the point of, because Success Club does mean that you're helping other people. And that's ultimately why we're all here. So when you're getting people to get on a Success Club board, they are helping other people get started. So it's not, for me, a personal thing of like a point thing. It's more that they are adding to their team and helping other people find the results and find how we all feel and why we're all here. So it goes both sides of, I guess, if we're all here to grow a team, we have to be getting some points on the board. We have to. And if we're not doing that, your team will not grow, and this won't create a business. So if you're not here for business, then that doesn't matter, and it shouldn't be something to bother you. But for me, I am trying to do this for my family. So it is hard to be that person that sits back and sees it's not going, it's not happening no matter what. And then I just feel as though like I've done something wrong to be able to not instill that, if that makes sense. I know I'm like, eeks.
I absolutely love that all three of you shared, because here is what I know about this business. Like Kelly said, it is different for everybody, but 1000% I agree with all of you guys. I agree with everything that you guys said. And I also agree what Kelly's saying about, if you're here to build a business, helping 3 people a month for all of us. I did not hit last month, so I'm not shaming anybody on this team. I'm speaking from my own perspective. But if I'm getting really real with myself, if I'm talking to enough people, helping 3 people with the total solution should not be hard, right? Do we agree? Like, these products have changed our lives. So if we can talk to enough people and we have genuine conversations, that's going to happen. What Missing Success Club did for me, like, 3 months ago or whatever, when I lost it after the years that I was in it, it opened up kind of this breath of fresh air to really start having genuine conversations with people and do it the right way, as opposed to like what Alicia's saying of like, you just felt like you were trying to do it for yourself. Well, now you don't have the pressure of like, I've gone 65 months. I can't possibly not hit this month. So let me like give everything away and like my first child. So somebody buys this challenge pack before the end of 12 o'clock on the 31st, right? So Missing Success Club stings. Like Alicia will tell you, it stings. Like, it kind of sucks. But the silver lining of that was, okay, let's take a step back here and let's look at the big picture, right? I'm not going to settle. I'm not going to push for that. And if I'm looking back on my month, it's a standard in my business, because if I'm not hitting Success Club, I'm not helping a minimum of 3 people, which ties into what Kelly says of like, if you want growth in this business, that's a bare minimum for all of us, right? Like I said, I didn't hit. But what I also want to share is, if you're not hitting Success Club, it's not like they said, it's not the end of the world, but you have to get really real. Are you doing it as a hobby, or are you doing this like ride or die? Like, I'm going to build this business and I'm going to create momentum, and I'm going to have acquisition every month of new customers, and I'm going to have retention for that residual income. And those numbers are important. So Beachbody does it for us is like, yes, we're selling challenge packs, and yes, they give points, and yes, they give recognition, and all those things create energy in our business. Recognition creates FOMO in our Instagram stories and social media, and people want to be a part of something that people are saying, they're recognized for X, Y, and Z. On the flip side of this, if we all just start focusing more on, can I help 10 people? No matter how I help them this month, can I help 10 people? And maybe 3 of those people are going to get started with a total solution, and the other might get just bawed, might get just energized, might get a 3-day refresh, might whatever they get. Let's shoot for volume growth and having more conversations and getting people involved in our community. And as we shoot for kind of like that bigger helping picture, hopefully the bare minimum will be a total solution, right? And then you're doing this naturally. The other thing I wanted to say about that is if you're enrolling coaches, right? If we shift the focus and we say, I'm going to enroll a minimum of 3 coaches on my team every month because I want to grow this business. Well, the easiest way for them to start is with a challenge pack, right? Because they get everything they need. They waive their coach fee. So if we start thinking more about, I want to build a team, I'm going out there to grow my business, well, the natural Success Club will happen, right? Because they will get started with a challenge pack. And that focus is more on the long-term vision. I'm finding people who want to run with me, who want to do this. And because of that, the byproduct of that is of getting Success Club points for that. Great. Whoop-de-doo, right? That acquisition. Success Club points mean absolutely nothing to you in the long-term growth of your business. The person who contributes 2 Success Club points to you right now on October 2nd, the only thing that matters is if they're going to stick around in November and December and January and February through next year. And maybe they're going to duplicate their business. So keeping in mind the long-term vision. How can we have more conversations with people and share what we're doing and be passionate about it and have genuine connections in our Instagram about what we're doing? When you don't stress out about hitting Success Club, you can feel like you can do that a little more naturally. So I hope that makes a little bit of sense. Like, Success Club is still freaking important. And even this last month, I was like, what am I doing wrong? You know? So it's a moment of self-reflection. Am I talking to enough people? Nope, I wasn't. I was following up with people till I was blue in the face, and I had a bunch of people say yes to me that I was banking on, and they didn't enroll. Come the last month, they ghosted me. So you can't put all your eggs in that basket, or count your chickens before they hatch is the term I'm trying to go for. And we just got to keep talking to people, and we got to show up to our business every day. And when we're getting really real, it comes down to, what is your goal in this business? It's going to be different for everyone. Some of you on this call might just be like, I just like being a part of this community, and I'm here on the call because I like to see your faces, and I don't really care if I make some extra money. Whatever, maybe I'll get my shake paid for. And some of you, like Kelly, are like, well, I'm going to frickin' grow this thing, and I'm going to grow it with my team. I'm going to push for these big goals because it means growth and momentum in my business. And some of you are somewhere in between, right? And the last thing I'll say, that the book, Freakishly Effective Strategies for Leadership, whatever that one is that I've been listening to, I posted it in the team page. It's awesome. But he just basically says, like, a lot of people who get into network marketing just want to make $0 to $500 a month. Most people. And if you fall in that bracket, then you're not going to be pushing for Success Club and retention and all of these important components to building a business. But if you want to be in the elite 5% of people that are growing a significant network marketing business, acquisition and retention matter. And consistent growth every single month matters. So whether that's Success Club or 57 people that get a BOD membership plus Energize, whatever that means to you, just shoot for helping 10 people a month and see where that takes us. Maybe that's the direction to go in. But I'm just so proud of everyone who's sharing, because it's, it's personal. It's different for each person. So find what speaks to you and go for it. And don't be afraid of going for those goals. Success Club, if recognition means a lot to you and growth, go for it, push for it. And if you don't hit it, no big deal. Do it the next month and just keep growing. That's my 2 cents.
I just want to jump back really quick. Sorry. I don't want it to sound as though I'm completely saying Success Club is a moot point and it sucks, because I'm not. What I kind of want to speak to is how we all, or at least me, and I know some others, tend to put your value and self-worth on Success Club. And I think that's my focus. Not that it's not important, because it is. But the first thing I said to Dana is, I take ownership for last month. I did not do what I needed to do. I was inconsistent. I had a lot going on, and I know I did. So I know me not hitting was my fault. So in that respect, if you're missing it, you have to take ownership and you have to look back. And I think this was probably, I mean, I've done it a few times before, but one of the first months that I didn't honestly stress myself out to the point. There have been nights that I've been up until 11:30, ready to cry, making myself sick because I needed that one more person to sign up. And that to me takes the joy away from this business. So I think that's really my point, is that put a limit on it. Yes, you're pushing, but like everybody else has said, the volume, the retention, I mean, there's still people that you can help without getting the challenge pack. And you can still say, hey, I can still help you. And you're still growing your business by getting them that quarterly BOD membership or just hooking them up with the Energize because of the volume. So I'm not saying by any means that don't go and help anybody or say, oh, screw it, the month's a wash anyway. Still continue your conversations and still focus on building what you want to build, but don't let it become so internalized that it's more damaging to your business than building your business because you're so focused on just hitting that you're not worrying about anybody else that you could help without that. And that it's making you not find the joy in the business, not want to share as much, getting angry, not wanting to talk to people on the team because you're comparing. Like, you don't want that to happen. And I think that's really where my aim was to just kind of separate the two and look at what really is important. The growth is important, but you can grow in multiple ways. It doesn't have to be that your worth and your building of this business comes from the Success Club number, if that makes sense. Okay.
And I know for me, like, I know Dana's looking at me like, I have honestly had a huge struggle bus with hitting Success Club, like the past few months, if I'm being honest. And what it was so surprising to me, because when I first started being a coach, I was at SC10, SC16, like I was crushing it because it was new, it was exciting. Like, all these people are like, oh, look at her go. And then now it's now just like my daily thing. And like, people aren't surprised that I'm doing it. And what I really took a look at, because now I have people contacting me and being like, hey, yeah, I'm ready now. All of these people that I've kept showing up for and having these conversations with are now coming through a year later and saying like, hey girl, you've really stuck with this. Like, is it everything, that you claim it is? Like why are you sticking with this? How is it working for you? And it sucks not to hit it, but have I helped people with Energize? Yeah. Have I helped people with just getting BOD? Yeah. And you have to meet people where they're at too. And whenever I started doubting my business, I noticed that I was also doubting myself and my own personal journey. So I had to actually take a step back and look inward to figure out why I wasn't hitting these. So just keep going, because this is a business. Like, people do not create businesses overnight. Like, it doesn't happen. You have to keep showing up. You have to keep being consistent. And eventually it will fall into place. Oh my God, give me that baby. But it will fall into place, and you like, something will just click. And so don't get overwhelmed with the calls with everyone telling you like, oh, this is what I do. This, like, find what works for you and find out where your momentum was when you got it in the first place. That's it.
That's an awesome tip, Ash. That one about figure out what you were doing when you had that momentum and do that, because that's actually something I want to mention, because if you guys have been around a while, you know that I used to always be at the top of Success Club leaderboards of like hitting SC20 a month with ease. That was just my jam. But to be able to do that, I was literally, I lived, eat, and breathed a Power Hour every single day, Monday through Sunday. That was a non-negotiable thing. And in this last year of my business, just being ill and having stepped back and scaled back so much, Success Club has been something I've had to really work harder for again. And so I wanted to bring this to the table, and I'm probably going to go ahead and say that we're going to run out of time tonight to actually do like a full power hour. So we can just pick another night to do a full on power hour, because I actually have some tips that I want to share in terms of like getting our mindsets back in the right place when we have failures or we have struggles. But I wanted to bring this to the table because I feel like I have talked to a handful of you. I talked to, quite honestly, a lot of you. And I've just noticed that there's this feeling of defeat, and there's this feeling of, you know, I'm not good enough because I'm not doing this, or maybe I'm not made for this. Or if you know, you miss it up for a month and you spend so much time beating yourself up after it happens that you're not stepping into the next month and taking action like a fresh slate of like, okay, I didn't like how that felt. I don't want to do that again. So what can I do differently this month? Like Annalisa and Alicia are saying, like, how can I shake things up? How can I do things differently? And me personally, I was sitting at SC4 until the last day of the month this month. And I intentionally took off Saturday and Sunday just because I'm on the reset. I was feeling awful. I was feeling emotional. I've had things going on in my personal life. Like, these are real things, guys. Like, we have real life things. We have real life stressors. We have personal lives. We have things going on. And I personally have never tried to use my personal things as an excuse, but I've also now had this mindset shift. And this is kind of what I was talking to Steph about, is that sometimes you have to prioritize your mental and emotional needs, or your personal needs, to be able to come back to your business with that energy and with that fire. So on Friday, when I was like, okay, I just did all my power hour and all my follow-ups and nothing is happening, I was feeling really stressed out about it, because I have been in Success Club for 5.5 years now, consistently every single month, no matter what, even the months that I was basically bedridden, being sick. And I can tell you that a part of my driving force for always striving for that was because I knew from day one that I wanted to build a team. I knew from day one that I wanted to be full-time. I am also I'm a sole provider. I'm a single parent. Like, this is my business. Like, this is my income, right? And those were standards that were taught to me from day one that are non-negotiable. And I've thought a lot about the word non-negotiable, because I think that's something that almost in a sense makes you think, if you can't hit what's non-negotiable, that you're failing, right? And the key is figuring out what is non-negotiable for you based off of the goals you have. I personally think Success Club is an incredible standard to know that you are gauging and growing your business, but it is certainly not the only factor in growing your business, because sharing the coaching opportunity is key. Duplicating that in your downline is key. Talking about the things with volume that Annalisa has shared about is key, right? There are so many different facets to really growing a successful business that I can tell you this. For example, and this might give you some kind of insight that maybe you don't know or understand. Certain top coaches in the company, they're hitting SC numbers like 200 a month, right? In my brain is like, who the hell could ever keep up with that? And how could you ever personally like touch the lives of that many people you're working with, right? Now you look at the downline we have come from with someone like Elizabeth Harkey and Keith Callahan and Bob Lucido, and they have built incredible 7-figure and above businesses, right? Success Club is a standard, but they were also more focused on finding and building leaders in their organization, right? And duplicating the business, finding coaches that want to work the business with them. So what I'm trying to get at is this is like a 2-facet thing. It's not saying that Success Club is not important, but it is saying that it's not the only thing that's important. And so for me, at the end of this last month, what I wanted to share with you guys is that I was feeling super bummed out. I was beating myself up thinking, oh my God, I'm the leader of this team. I'm not even in Success Club yet. I have a very hard time trying to preach things that I'm not doing or that I'm struggling with. And so I wanted to own that, hell yeah, last month was a massive struggle for me. And a few of the months prior to that were too, which is why sometimes we have to step back and think, what is it that I am doing or what I'm not doing or what I need to do more of, or do I need to get out of my own head? Like, what needs to shift and change moving forward? Because I didn't want to feel like that again. I told Stephanie, I was like, this feeling sucks. Like, now I know what people on our team must feel like when you miss a goal or you're at the end of a month and it hasn't happened for you yet, and no one wants to go and message a million people and do a billion giveaways and not spend time with your kid on a certain night because you're hustling for a goal, right? There are times in a business where you are going to have to make sacrifices and you are going to have to put in the time, because the things that we've achieved, the really big things like Elite Top 200, was not achieved by not making sacrifices. But you have to know what you're willing to sacrifice and what you aren't, okay? And so what I want to share is, I wrote down some just like tips today because I was thinking about this for myself, but I also want to share this with you guys because like we are saying, we're not saying Success Club isn't important. We are saying that it's important you honor how you feel in your business. And Stephanie and I were just talking about like celebrating the things you are doing. It's something I do with Stephanie all the time because she comes to me and she's disappointed about something. And I'm like, but look how awesome you're doing with branding on your social media. And you've been sharing so incredibly in your stories, right? Like you're doing lives in our team page. Like you are doing so many awesome things in your business that when you're focused only on Success Club and you have your blinders on like that, you're forgetting about everything else you're doing that that matters, or that's growing your business, or that's making an impact, or that's helping the team, or that's doing something to move you forward in that momentum period. And that's a shitty feeling. Like you're not even recognizing anything positive you're doing because you're only focused on the one failure, right? And that's what I want to stress the importance of, is like, we need to get better as a team of across the board celebrating the things that we are doing, celebrating the growth we're having, celebrating the mindset shifts you're having, celebrating how you're showing up to your journey, being consistent with that, posting on social media. Like all of the facets of our business are important. And it's defeating if we don't celebrate those things too, right? So with that said, the last thing that I wanted to share before I kind of dig in and share some tips with you is how I actually hit Success Club on the last day of the month without offering giveaways or anything like that, because the biggest part of this for me, guys, was mindset. And it most often always is going to be about mindset, right? Because if we are going into our business thinking everyone is going to say no to me, no one wants to join me right now, no one's responding to my messages, this freaking sucks, I'm stuck at the end of the month, I'm failing. Like, who has felt like that before? I should see every single hand up. Right? And so I know for me, if I'm actually going to get something productive done and potentially have an outcome that I want, that I need to get my mind in the right place first and foremost, because if it's not, I'm sitting down and I'm just half-assing going through the motions anyways. And that doesn't feel good. And that definitely doesn't give us outcomes we want. So, like I said, I disconnected on Saturday and Sunday. I just took time to be present in my own life and on my own stuff and present with my family. And then I knew come Monday morning that I was going to dive in and I was going to crush it. And whether I hit it or not, I was going to give it everything I had and lay it on the table and see what happened, right? And so I'm giving you numbers because this is sometimes what happens. I did over 50 follow-ups on Monday morning to find one person who said yes and wanted help. And the girl that I actually helped on the last day of the month happened to be someone that I have been talking to and following up with for 4 years, right? So you have to understand that this is not what I'm trying to, I guess, help you understand is that, and a lot of you know this, if you hit Success Club via follow-ups for the most part, is that a lot of helping people get started, whether it's with a challenge pack or otherwise, is not going to be from your initial connection. It is not going to be from the first invite you send them. It is probably not going to be from the second or the third either. It is going to be from people that you're consistently checking in on and following up with, that are following your social media, that are watching you transform, that are seeing you share things, right? And then people start saying yes. But the key is actually staying your course in your business long enough to see those people come to fruition to join you, because a lot of times we get defeated and then we step back and we lose that momentum that we can't see that we're gaining by showing up and doing the things. Does that make sense? Like, you can't see the people that are literally, you can imagine like a swarm of bees imaginary that is out in front of you, that you're just like waiting waiting to be able to reach out to and pull some honey from. That's a really stupid analogy, but like there's an invisible kind of thing going on when you are showing up and doing the things right, that it will start to compound and it will start to pay off over time. Just like when you're doing workouts, you're not going to show up one day a month and get the same result if you're doing it, 7 days a week or 6 days a week, right? So I wanted to just share that Monday morning, what I did was I've been listening to a book called, oh my God, The Miracle Equation. He's the guy who wrote The Miracle Morning, which I've suggested in the team page a few times. It's an awesome book so far. But what he keeps saying, and I think is so important, is he always says, to be successful in anything you pursue, you need unwavering faith and extraordinary effort, right? And how many times has your faith or your belief in yourself or your business or what you're capable of not been in the right place? And how many times has the extraordinary effort not been something present too? Like if you reverse engineer and you think about that, like when we struggle to hit a goal or we're not showing up and getting the result we want, like one of those two things is off. And it was like a light bulb went off in my head on Monday morning where I was like, game changer. Like I've achieved really incredible things. And when I look back at those, that's what it took. It took unwavering faith in myself, in the business, in what I was offering people, of what I was inviting them to. And then that extraordinary effort, like showing up and being consistent and putting in the work, right? Because a lot of times, like they all said tonight, ownership, like we have to own sometimes. And that sucks when we have to own that we're not doing what we should be doing. But like the answer is always simple when we really think about why we're not doing a certain thing. And yeah, it's definitely not always easy to maintain. He talks about that too. But what it can be is a great gut check, like a loving reminder to ourselves, instead of beating ourselves up and saying, this sucks, I suck, I'm failing, I'm whatever your go-to limiting negative beliefs are, to thinking, okay, cool. I know that this is a gut check of what I can do better. And tomorrow morning, I'm going to wake up and start taking action on those things and doing things differently, because I don't want to keep getting the same outcome, because doesn't that just drive you nuts? Like, right? Like that's how I felt at the end of this month. I was like, no more of this shit. Like, I don't want this anymore. And I don't want this for our team anymore. I don't want our team. I want you to feel joyful when you come to your business. I want you to feel excited. Like I want you to sit down and think like, I am a part of the best thing I've ever been a part of. It has changed my life. And I cannot wait to invite other people to join me for this. Like, and have that just that crazy, excited, passionate belief about what you are inviting people to, rather than thinking, oh shit, I have to hit Success Club again this month. I only have 2 points. I'm really struggling, right? Like getting excited about what you're inviting people to. And like we've all said, helping people where they're at. If they're not ready for a challenge pack, help them with whatever they need help with. Maybe that's just 2B mindset. Maybe that's just BOD. Maybe that's just energized to go along with their workouts. And if they do need a total solution and you know that as their coach, make sure to put them on a list to go follow up with. So I'm going to try to wrap this up really quick. And if you guys want to take notes, you can. And if you don't, I can post these in the team page if they'll be helpful. But I think I wrote down some things that I think are really good to kind of get us back on track, or things to think about if we're constantly having struggle months. So the first thing is to reflect. We talked about this tonight. What am I doing? What am I not doing? Where can I improve? And this is something really big, is what cycle am I in and how can I break it? So if you're in a cycle, say, of coming home from your full-time job at night, and you know that's supposed to be your Beachbody time, but you come home and you eat dinner and then you plop on the couch, how can you break that cycle by creating some type of new environment or new behavior? That's what Atomic Habits talks a lot about, is that you can't create a different habit in the same environment that you have the bad habit in. Does that make sense? Like, say you typically go, think you're going to go work your business somewhere else, like take your computer to the couch with you, or like go do something, like change up the cycle, and more importantly, change the cycle beforehand. So in the car on the way home, instead of thinking, I'm going to get home and I'm going to relax tonight and I'm going to pop on the couch and I'll get to it tomorrow, I'm too tired today, start amping yourself up. Listen to PD. Like do something that gets you in the headspace of like, I'm going to go home and I'm going to crush this tonight, and working on breaking that cycle. Because I know that's been a really, really, really big one that I've been working on. Okay, so the next one is belief. How's your belief in yourself, in this business, in what we do as coaches, and in what you're offering? That is really, really important, because if you don't believe in something wholeheartedly, you're not going to invite people to join you to do it, right? Number 3 is your journey. When is the last time that we've committed to something start to finish and shared the process? Now, no, you don't have to be perfect, but like, I know for me that doing this ultimate reset, part of it was because I wasn't feeling like I was mentally engaged with Morning Meltdown. I felt like I was kind of going through the motions, and I needed to do something that would be a kick in the ass to me to be like 100% dedicated to something start to finish. Tracking your business. When you are actually doing vitals, are you tracking them? And this is important because like I was able to just tell you that I had to do over 50 invites to find one person, or 50 follow-ups on Monday to find the one person who said yes, who actually wasn't a follow-up. She was an initial invite, but someone I've been talking to a long time. Is if you don't have any correlation in your head of how many people, like how many new connections you have, how many new invites, how many follow-ups, you're not going to be able to go back and think, like Ashley said, I had a kick-ass month and I was high on life and I had momentum that month. What was it that I was doing that was working so well for me if we're not tracking things, right? Like, what were you doing in your journey at that point in time? What were you sharing on social media? Like, how many people were you talking to? What did your power hour behaviors look like at that point in time where you were seeing the success you wanted to see? Because if you track it, then you can duplicate it or you can improve it, right? Okay, I said your journey, but showing that journey, committed to it and sharing it, right? Environment is kind of the same thing along the cycle. Like if you're not feeling inspired, do something with your workout space. Or if you're not feeling inspired, like I've been getting up and going to work at a coffee shop sometimes because quite frankly, I don't love sitting in my house every day. But changing your environment where you work, if that's something you feel like would be helpful to you. Personal development and mindset. That was the number one thing on Monday morning that had such a game-changing effect on my day, was that one quote or that one line that I heard from the book that I was listening to on PD, right? So are you consistently doing PD right now that speaks to you, whether it's something you need to work on in your personal life and or something business-driven books? It's giving you new ideas and making you feel fresh and creative, but keeping your mind in the right place. There's a saying that says, when you get in your head, you're dead. And who can relate to that? Because when you get in your head and you overthink everything and you're beating yourself up and you're stressing out, you don't do anything, right? We freeze and we overthink. I'm an overthinker by nature, like to death. That's why I say that. So like PD is something like I have to eat, sleep, and breathe by, even 5.5 years in. Yeah, 70, get it tattooed. But I like to think as personal development is kind of bulletproofing our mindset in a way to know that no matter how we're feeling or whatever, that we're intentionally choosing to fill it with things that are helping us do the things we actually want to do, right? Okay. Honoring where you're at in your personal life or your personal journey. Like I said, if you have a crazy schedule, or like Rachel, she's got a new baby, you know, like there are things in life where you're in certain seasons where things are crazier, or you're making adjustments, or you have some personal struggles going on. Whatever it is, if you need to like reevaluate and scale back that month instead of quitting, do that. Like, don't say I'm struggling this month in my personal life, so I'm just going to throw in the towel altogether. Think about like, how can I step back to give myself a little more time and a little more self-care, or a little more family time, or a date night, or whatever, so that when I do show up to my business, I actually feel energized rather than like going into it in a not great place because you can't give what you don't have. Like that was so profound to me when I heard that. And I'm saying it a lot to myself lately, is like, you cannot give what you do not have. So if you are feeling burnt out, depleted, unhappy, unmotivated, whatever, you got to step back and pour into yourself before you try to show up in your business and pour other people, because the outcome and how you talk and how you act and things you say is totally different, right? With the saying, honoring where you're at, is like, what can you change so you feel more energized? Is there any stress you can eliminate, and how so? Do you need to take some more personal time? Are you not sleeping enough? You know, can I ask for help with something? Like if you're feeling overwhelmed and you feel like you don't have time, like who can you ask for help with something, right? Surround yourself with positive, inspiring people. Like that is why we're here. That is why we have these team calls, so that we can talk about all of these things and help you not feel so alone. But also thinking about just the people you surround yourself in your life in general with, because we are energetic people. I know that sounds weird, but like, you might meet people that kind of have a negative vibe and they drain you, right? And then you hang out with certain people that just like uplift you and inspire you and like you feel great about it. Just being a little more aware of getting yourself in more circles where you feel inspired and uplifted and high energy, because that really does make a difference in your overall life and well-being, I personally think. Grace. So giving yourself grace when you're having a struggle bus month or you miss a goal, because like I said, beating ourselves up about it doesn't do absolutely any good. And it makes us, instead of helping us be more intentional about owning how we can move forward differently, it just makes us freeze and feel stuck. And that's the last thing we want. So when you do have a failure or you do miss a goal, like, how can you be resilient to bounce back faster? Because your bounce back game in this business it's one of our like unknown hacks, is like, we have to bounce back when you get a rejection, you have a failure, you have someone ghost you, or that doesn't pan out the way it is, right? Like, how can we bounce back faster so that we can keep moving towards the end goal that we're actually pushing for, or the big things we're pushing for, right? Because if you stay down too long, you're missing the opportunity of doing all the things you could do moving forward if you get back up faster. Like Kelsey said on the call the other night, she said something like, it's only failure if you don't get back up. And the last thing is blinders on for your goals. They've all kind of mentioned that your goals in this business are very different. Mine has always been to be full-time. Mine forever will be kind of on a high standard, because that's what I want. That's what I came into this business for. You have to know why you are here and what you are building, just with the same intensity and tenacity and clarity that Kelly Riley spoke. She's building something for her family. This is what she wants, and this is why she wants it. Because if you know why you want this and you know why you want the goals that align with it, like, you're going to fight 10 times harder for those. But if you don't know why you're here, then how are you going to know why you want to fight for goals like Success Club, or helping 10 people a month, or showing up presently? Like, if there is no connection to why you're here, there's going to be no connection to the goals that align with it, right? So that was a lot. I really hope that after this call, this helps you know that, like, you are supported and you are not alone. If you have been struggling, or you have fallen short, you feel, in your business, or you've missed goals, or whatever it is, like, it is not the be all end all if you miss something. I've missed so many goals in this business. Maybe Success Club isn't one of them, but I've had a hell of a lot of failures over the years. And every single time we have them, we have to learn from them, because otherwise they're pointless. They're wasted. Like, what's the point of going for something big if you only know you can hit it? You know what I mean? Like, you have to, it's like Josh Coates said, set goals that are so big that you know you couldn't achieve them, because you'll grow into the person who could. And then you see your potential and you're capable of so much more. So I hope that this filled some cups if you have been kind of lagging, and beating yourself up for things you're not doing. But I also hope that it really gives you some actionable things to think about if you want to kick ass moving forward, so that there's a lot of less heavy feels about this. Does anybody anybody have anything they want to chime in on or add that didn't talk about anything in regards to Success Club or goals?
I would
Also,
just like to
you
put.
guys think.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry, Ashley. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. I just want to put this out there so it's out in the universe and out to our team and keep me accountable. I am going to be on the stage as a success story at Summit in New Orleans. I'm putting it out there. Y'all are going to keep my ass accountable. That is like literally one of my biggest goals right now. So,
Beach
it's
Body Challenge, baby.
but it's what I want to do. It's my goal.
I love
That's
it.
That would be really cool. Goosies. What the heck was I gonna say? How do I follow up with that? Oh, if you guys are like, it's not a competition between anyone. That's why I kind of love Beat Your Best month. It is a Beat Your Best month right now. So if you are business motivated, if your goals are that kind of like high performance thing right now, it's the perfect month to kind of reboot, check in with what you're doing each day, and get really real with what you want to achieve in October. And if a silly little thing like Beat Your Best drives you to push your business forward, then go all in on it and set a goal to beat your best. And I think it's your best over the last 2 years, since like January 2018, I think. I forget. I'd have to check the dates again, but it's not like your lifetime best. It's something different. But a good way to set a goal and just to go for it.
I think it's just 1 year.
1 year, last 12 months.
Yeah. Yay, that's even better.
I know. Mine's like 10, I think. Anyway, but yeah, it's personal goals. Just be better than you've been previously and grow momentum that way.
Love
Or set a goal for yourself to just help 10 people somehow and jot down something on your whiteboard of helping people and just write down people that you're sharing something with. Do whatever works for you. It's different for everyone's business. Just get really real with what you want out of it and understand what it takes to grow a really momentous business is not Success Club 6 with no retention, right? We've got to make moves.
No
when I'm
active
ready.
coaches.
All right. Dana, you rock. Thanks for sharing and hosting, and everyone else for sharing. You guys all rock. And I can't wait to see what we do in October.
Yes.
We're here for a reason.
I think October is going to be a really good month.
I think so too. Let's freaking do something. Let's put ourselves on the map and be like, whoa, where'd they come from?
It's totally possible. We've done it before. We can do it again. I just want to mention too, we're going to be making some shifts and kind of simplifying things moving forward. I know I posted in the team page today about the like updated new coach system, which is so awesome and so simple. What I love about it is that it's easily duplicatable, even if you're a brand new coach. Like you don't have to know anything. You don't have to teach anything. Like we literally direct people to this and they learn the basics of getting started. And I just personally feel like we've overcomplicated a lot of things, myself especially, that I'm really looking forward to kind of simplifying things and making them a whole lot more duplicatable for the team in general so that everyone feels like, hell yeah, I can do this and I can rock this. So, yeah. So I'm excited about things moving forward. Personalized welcome emails. Yep. Yes. Welcome emails to your customers. This is something I was working on today. I'll share it when I'm done if you want to duplicate it for yourself. But having something to send to people when they get started, because I forget who said it now, but quality over quantity. Like quality in terms of people's journey starts after we sign them up. Not the goal is not Success Club. The goal is what we do with people after Success Club, right? The goal is helping people after Success Club. And helping them actually have a kick-ass experience and great results is kind of why a lot of us are transitioning back to the challenge tracker to see if we can kind of increase engagement and retention and transformations and all that good stuff. But having something that you're sending new people to get started so that it's not just like a sign them up and stick them in a group. And I think we can all improve on that. A lot of improvements moving forward. So I'm excited. But anyways, I'm sorry that we did not get to Power Hour tonight, but I think that this topic was helpful to bring to the table. I hope that hope that everyone sleeps a little easier knowing that we don't have to be perfect or put crazy pressure on ourselves. We just have to show up and do our best and keep learning along the way. So, all right, ladies, we will see you next week. Thanks for sharing, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Did somebody get a boomerang? I hope.